Welcome back to the League of Puzzle Speedrunners Tetris Attack Speedrun Turn 2026 Flying Wiggler Open. Cards of the Hearts back with you alongside the Beatman 314 and FFR Pro 21. We are about to get the second set of our first round matches going. It is our 8-9 match on top, 6 versus gamerX459, and on the bottom is the 5-12 matchup of Kynayo and Fudu, making their Tetris Attack tournament debut. Ethan, how do you think these two matches are going to go?
Yeah, I think that Gamer has the speed advantage. I think 6 has the consistency advantage of, and just having the mental fortitude to just like not panic when a clear happens. On the bottom, actually, I'm gonna defer to y'all because this is my first time seeing Fudu in what I think is a Wayne's World hat. Looks like a Wayne's World hat. I have no idea, but yeah, I would love to hear you guys talk about Fudu. Talk to us.
I will admit I don't really hang out in the PvP scene too much. Is where I know Fudu better. I mean, FFR, you met Fudu for the puzzle collection relay at this past SGDQ. So yeah, have you been able to get with him about how he's been playing lately?
Yeah, I was able to meet Fudu for the first time. Yeah, at SGDQ. He was one of the commentators for that Nintendo Puzzle Collection team relay race there alongside BB Forky. He had played in our 2022 Pokemon Puzzle League tournament, a while back there. Fresh from the player versus player scene. Speedrunning and doing versus play against another player is it's kind of like you're playing two different games at the same time. It's the same game, but how you go about it is very, very different. I do remember Fudu in that 2022 PPL tournament, kind of, maybe wasn't used to the strategies of speedrun and PPL at first, but do you remember as that tournament went along, he started to adapt to the strategies and really improved his times. Really improved as a result. So, looking forward to seeing how he will adapt to Tetris Attack speedrun and see how well he can do here.
Maybe the higher speeds will be more Fudu's speed, as it were. We will find out shortly as our players are about to get off to the races. Looks like 6's point of view will be far behind everyone else's, so we'll try to keep that in mind as we go through with game 1, is now underway. And this is level 2. This is level 2 speed, so this might be a bit slow for our players to get used to, but it looks like it's fairly tight on the bottom. Kynayo finishing with a 19, Fudu with a 25. So maybe that first stage will have given our 12 seed a little insight as to how these lower levels get speed ran. Meanwhile, Gamer, what is Lakitu doing?
Oh my god, this is easy mode Lakitu getting a 5 chain off of the garbage here. Oh
These
no.
folks don't know how to do that. They're not supposed to learn how to do that. That is pure luck. How? Just... I can't.
Man, Lack was just throwing spinies like crazy.
That is normally not how easy mode's supposed to play out. And even some downstacking from 6's Bumpty is going to lead to a little chain and a little extra clearing. Okay, Kynayo barely getting through that Poochie before more damage can be done. Fudu dealing with a very low Poochie. Sent 7 lines, which is normally a good attack to these opponents, but Poochie went a little bit lower. Needed 9 lines. Will that purple match get down there? No, not in time. Not in time for Poochie, so Fudu will escape without much further damage. Meanwhile, on the top match, 6 and Gamer are fairly well synced, which means 6 has a massive 30-second lead, only a few stages in. See how well Gamer will be able to come back from that.
Yeah, and that lead looks a lot more than 30 seconds. We're looking at it closer to like 35. Man, it just shows to Goya that when these opponents, and especially easy, like they get a clear, it's not like V hard where like sometimes it'll be like maybe 5 seconds, maybe 6 seconds. No, in easy it could take up to 10, 12 seconds sometimes for all of the garbage to resolve, as well as their stop time running out. So we call this blue hard for a reason, and it's because of that. It's very tough to run this category and run it well, trying to avoid all the garbage clears, because sometimes you just can't. Sometimes it's just inevitable. You send an attack as quickly as possible and it just gets dealt with immediately.
One of the perks of yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Talker, who wrote up a guide on how to go through easy mode in speedrun this, so you can get faster, consistent times, because this is one of the more frustrating easy modes in the series to try to speedrun.
One of the benefits that can come from qualifying well for our monthly events is that you don't have to play this slow level near as much. Our top 4 seeds are only having to play 1 round when they potentially have to deal with an easy level, whereas all these players, if they win, will have to play a 2nd round with all these lower levels. And like, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to play the lower levels. I mean, the community that we have now basically came together over Pokemon Puzzle League playing the higher difficulty levels. So in this game, in this community, the hardest level, V hard, is the one that gets the most play on our leaderboards. But for maximum accessibility, we want to try to get through all of the levels in one little tournament, and hopefully we can show off some skilled play by showing off the lower levels as well. We've got 6 on the top, getting through Raphael the Raven just as Gamer finishes Lungefish, and on the bottom it is Kynayo with a fairly decent lead over Fudu. Fudu just getting their feet wet with the speedrun technique, and maybe the chains are a little bit too much. Maybe the combos are not always there, but Fudu's definitely making sure that these opponents are topped off, and that's the most important thing you can do in these runs, beefing.
Absolutely agreed. I talk about how this this game has a lot of similarities to chess, and one of them being, in chess, the most important thing is king safety. And I feel that the most important thing is, making sure that the opponents are topped off. Like 6 with that 10-line hook, Bill.
Wow.
Jeez.
That was
But
insane.
Kynayo, wow, done. Just getting there.
Speaking
Wow,
of insane,
very nice.
6 minutes 20 seconds. That is quite the insane time for a random easy run, and that will be star number 1 to the 5 seed.
I don't know who it was that was talking about Fudu's experience in PvP. In stage 8, I mean, like we saw that Fudu actually swapped in midair 6 too quickly, and it actually became 2 3-pops. So yeah, Fudu might be going a little bit too quickly for easy, but yeah, Kynayo taking full advantage with Kynayo's this is Kynayo's best difficulty, so pretty obvious that, just was able to take the win there.
Speaking of winning 6, taking home game 1 on top with a time of 6 minutes 38 seconds will officially log it in at after a bit of a timer issue. But that is enough for the 8 seed to take game 1. Gamer has now finished with a 7:28. Fudu has gotten it done with an 8:03. So we've got 4 finished easy mode runs on the board. Good to see. Now we will see how our players do in game 2.
I mean, I typically really love hard mode in this game because you can really try to go aggressive and get fast stages. Then again, I did get a normal PB earlier this week, so maybe hard mode is, maybe normal mode is is a pretty good mode as well.
Aren't you a Pokemon Puzzle League World Champion? Don't you love normal? And that's your fastest mode? That's your bread and butter, Jerry.
I mean, when it comes to PPL, I kind of prefer, easy and hard. Normal and PPL is just weird.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's actually normal Pokemon Puzzle League is level 2 speed, which is definitely not what our players are dealing with here. They are going all the way up to 6 with this game 2. Game 2 is now underway for all players. If we need a game 3 up top, we'll figure out 6's desyncing issues. But don't look now. It is Fudu getting off to a little bit of a start. Got a little bit better of that one than Kynayo did. Like this might be the race that Fudu gets it back. This is more his speed. It looks like.
Wow, yeah, you got that right. That was an 18 with like a really good chain, a really good first attack, and then yeah, following it up with a 14. Yeah, I definitely think Fudu's found their rhythm now.
Yeah, typically over in the panel attack community, they're more used to playing on like level 8, level 10 speed, so you definitely getting to see early on that Fudu is basically at home on hard difficulty here.
All right. So far, so fine here. Kynayo going big on the chain to try and make up for potential lost ground on the combos. That's gonna be enough for a 20. Basically needed all of that to deal with that Poochie. Might have to review that later to see if that was a proper conch kill.
Wow, beautiful chain setups from Fudu. That was awesome.
That's getting it done with a 17 there. Players will definitely be thrilled to to see any stage they can get under 20 seconds. And I don't know, Kynayo must be recognizing that their combo games often setting up more chains, like 6 chains, 7 chains. This is not, I will admit, this is not something I typically see from Kynayo. It's usually the chains that fall short, if anything, in their attacks. But today, the chains have come out in full force, trying to keep up with whatever Fudu's been able to put up. Oh, Gamer dodges a bit of a bullet with that Froggy. Exiting in just over 3 minutes. 6 might actually come out ahead on that exchange if this attack is true, and it is. So 6 will actually be escaping that stage with a roughly 10-second lead over Gamer, which it's not much still, but that will take a little bit of doing to try and make up. And there we go. Looks like Fudu might actually be first out of the first half of this run above everyone else. Looks like 6 might be having a time with Blarg, but about a 340 exit for Fudu. We really are seeing Fudu come into his stride here.
Yeah, and making that 8 chain, yeah, that's definitely showing that he does not want to have any problems with topping off the opponent. But, I mean, that 8 chain had a lot of jiggle on it. I mean, it slowed him down a little bit, and, has allowed Kynayo to, I think, take the lead. It's going to take about a 4-second lead going into Raven.
Oh, and a nice 13 from 6. That's going to extend his lead over Gamer to more than 20 seconds. Top match getting a little bit out of control, but Gamer doing what he can in order to keep it going. I think there was a way for Gamer... There were several ways for Gamer to extend that chain, just could not see them all. And yeah, it's definitely possible to get into a little bit of some pattern blindness with this game, because like, look at everything that's happening on screen at once. So easy to get overwhelmed by everything and lose track of what you're doing. Very, very crazy. I don't know how I would teach players to not be overwhelmed by that, because it's kind of like an either you have it or you don't. I don't know how well I could teach that.
Oh, wow. Kynayo was so close to getting cleared by the greens there, but Hookbill got greedy and tried to go for a 4 combo, so Kynayo's going to maintain this lead on the bottom, but... Okay, 6 is going to get out of there and going to definitely solidify the lead at the top.
While Fudu has been running into a few more difficulties, is still working out through these stages fairly competently, but gonna have to find some good stages in order to come back on Kynayo. And now with a 24-second Piranha Plant, 2 stages away from locking this down and moving on to the next round. Which, again, the people awaiting the winners of these matches, I will be playing against the winner of 6 and Gamer, and the winner of Kynayo and Fudu will be playing against Ty. We'll be having those matches for you live right after this, so hopefully these players will be able to get a bit of a breather before that. Hey, you got a 7 chain from 6 there. The combos, is it just me, or been like for all the players, the chains have been big and the combos have been a bit light. Am I imagining that?
No, I don't think you're imagining that. I think that, yeah, I think everybody's shoring up their combo game by sending bigger chains and just trying to be more consistent and trying to make sure that constantly that the opponent's topped off. Yep, just like Kynayo did. Uh-oh, it's going to be one line short. The reds are there. This is, uh-oh.
At's gonna waste a little bit of time.
All right.
But not enough for Fudu to make the comeback. So Kynayo clocks in at a 7:48, and there goes 6 taking care of business. 6 officially clocking in with a 7:30. Kynayo's 7:48. Those two have locked up their matches. They will be moving on. Fudu is done now at an 8:24. Very respectable showing, all things considered, for their first Tetris Attack tournament. Gamer, I imagine Gamer's disappointed in how they fared today. We'll finish the hard time with an 8:43. But we definitely saw some big chains in this match, and maybe we'll look back on this one and see just how big the opening chain sizes were in each stage, because they really brought the pain to these opponents. That's for sure. But with that,
Yeah, this will be a good one. This will be a good one to watch. Yeah, I agree, especially with, like seeing how certain people wanted to be, and I think a lot of people tried to play it safe today. And when everybody's playing it safe, that's good. But the next round, our winners are going to have to go against people who definitely do not like playing it safe. So we'll see how those two styles compare to the styles of their next opponents in the next round.
So your winners for these matches today are 6 and Kynayo. They will be moving on to the next round. But job well done from Gamer and Fudu, showing up and making these players work for it. Definitely work had to be put in. Let's make this result official. With 2-0 sweeps, 6 moves on to play yours truly in the quarterfinals. Kynayo moves on to play Ty in the quarterfinals. Those will be some electric matchups, to be sure. Let's take a look right at those updated brackets. Results are getting populated, and once again, I'm gonna have to go toe-to-toe with 6. And Ty, can't remember if Ty has played Kynayo in these monthlies, but that's like part of the big appeal of these monthlies. We're building all of these new rivalries and new storylines to build up into the major tournaments. Just keeps things interesting from a viewer perspective, I think. Beef FFR, how much are you looking forward to watching these two matches play out? Especially when we could all potentially have to deal with V-Hard in this one.
You go first, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. V-Hard is the ultimate chaos difficulty for this game. So it's, as we probably mentioned, there's a lot of strategy now with picking the difficulties. So, it'll be interesting. There's a lot of good matches coming up in these quarterfinals here.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, like I'm seeing it's really cool to see Kynayo's progression. Like they were, a middling player, and now they're starting to win matches and they're starting to go against the heavy hitters. That's the match I'm really excited for. I'm excited to see Kynayo's progress as they go up against Tai. And of course, this is one of the tales as old as time. Cards and Six, we see them a lot in these tournaments playing against each other. That's always going to be a good match. So let's, I'll kind of do this for you. Let's not waste any more time. We're going to get the next room set up where our players are choosing what that first game is going to be. So stick around. We'll be right back for the start of the quarterfinals of the Flying Wiggler Open. Who will survive?